guys, Arwen here. So I felt called to do a collective reading. So today we are going to have pile number 1, which is the moon card. And then pile number 2 is going to be the star card. So I just want you to intuitively tune in to which pile you feel is for you. Hi Twinkles. Oh yes, Twinkles is going to be part of the reading, and then just pick that one, okay? Alright, so we're going to do this with the cat. And yeah, hopefully he'll sit down. Alright, so I'm going to start with pile number 1, which is the moon card. Alright? And as I move into this card, the first thing that comes to me is there is something that needs to happen that is kind of like intuitively, here, I'm going to cut the camera back a little bit. There's something underneath the surface that needs to be seen. Maybe you've been aware of it, somewhat, not fully aware of it, but something needs to rise to the surface. So I also picked some charms for you, pile number 1, and I got the ship's anchor, the heart, and then I got 2 keys, okay? So the ship's anchor automatically makes me think of the bottom of the ocean, which is what the moon card triggers as well. So regarding the keys that come out in the charms for you, it's bringing up something like a visualization that happened the other night, and I feel like I need to tell you the visualization like that's part of your reading. So in my visualization, I saw a Chinese man, and he was in one of those like Chinese houses that, you know, looks like it's pointy and it has all the little roof divots that go like that. I'm sorry, I don't know what that type of house is called. But he was in the house, and I moved into the house, and there was a little Chinese guy sitting there, and then I was sitting there as well, and there was a little like sand pit in the middle of the house that was square, like a Chinese garden, a Chinese sand garden. What's that called? A Zen garden. And I was leaning over it, and in the middle of the Zen garden, there were shackles on my wrist, and the shackles were going to a house, which was in the middle of the sand pit. And then I opened up the roof of the house, and in it I saw there was a key. And in this key, I looked into the reflection because it was big and it was shiny, and the key was reflecting myself back to me. And what I got from that was like, you are the key. You are the key. So what I'm wanting to tell you, your message is you are the key, all right? There are so many charms in this bag, I can't even tell you, and I picked out 2 keys, okay? And also, weirdly, like they came out at the same time. So you are the key. So that is something that you needed to hear. Let's see what else pile number 1 needs to hear. We have 7 of materials, 2 of emotions, the Queen of materials in reverse, and the 8 of materials in reverse. So what I'm getting from these cards is like you feel like you've been doing so much and you're trying to hold everything up. And it just feels like so many emotions, right? So it's like I can't do everything, right? All these arms. I cannot, you know, go to work all the time and clean up this mess and do that over here and take care of these other people's problems. I'm getting specifically like, I don't know if they're family members or if they're friends, but other people like putting emotional burdens on you, and then you feeling like you need to deal with them or you need to take care of them. So some sort of like caretaking or archetype is running, right? Like you need to do this many things and you need to take care of that. And people expect you to, right? Like they are like, no, like you should be doing that. But really, no, you shouldn't. It's not like correct. It's not actually your burden, but like they're saying that it's your burden and then you're agreeing with them that it's your burden, right? But it's actually not your burden. So in truth, it's not your burden. So that brings my awareness to truth. Like you are the key. You are the key to this situation. So feeling in your body, is this divine truth? Is this actually my burden? Do I actually need to take responsibility for these other people that are not doing what they need to be doing, or getting things done by a certain time that they said that they would do, but now it's like your problem because like they didn't do it? No, it's not, right? All right, Queen of materials. So it's just this overall feeling of like, it's like a draining energy. It's just, and it's kind of like also a little bit like an anger energy too. It's like, I just like cannot, like I just can't do all these things for all of these people. and take care of myself and all of this. Like, you're just like, no, like, this is not okay, and this is not going to keep going. And then we have two of emotions. So these two women are dancing, and there's two of them, and they're identical. So I feel like your emotions kind of go back and forth. Like, first, sometimes you're like, well, it's okay, you know, whatever. You're not, like, thinking about it that much. And then the other times you're just like, I just, like, can't. Like, a part of you feels a little bit like you're drowning. Like, it's too much. I cannot do all of these things. And then another part of you is like, yeah, well, whatever. Like, you're just kind of a little dissociated from it. And then we have 7 of materials. And this is giving me the feeling of like, yeah, but when do I have time to do what I actually want to do? Like, when do I have time to nurture myself? Like, you know, this girl is looking down at the roses, and the roses represent, you know, receiving nurturance, connecting to yourself, connecting to your essence, connecting to your desires. But I'm feeling like you don't even have time for any of that because you're so overloaded with all these other people. And what I'm feeling very strongly is like you really are the key. Like, the star card is all about alignment, and you are the key to turning it around, because you are the one who has power to say no. You are the one who has power to be like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to do this anymore. And what I'm feeling too is like, if you tap into what's true, like that essence within you, you'll be able to feel and you'll be able to know, like, you know what? No, this is like on them, and that's just like not my problem. And as soon as you stop seeing it as your problem and detachment, like, these people, they're probably going to get a little bit angry at first, but then they'll just, it's like if you don't let them, then they won't. Everything is somehow, like, it's letting you know what you're okay with. And when you're like, okay, well, I'm not okay with this anymore, then the manifestation outside of you will change. Okay, but you have to be in conviction within yourself. You have to be within divine truth within yourself. I'm glad Twinkles is holding up the cards here. All right, surrender to success. You are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting world of new possibilities. Surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Okay, if there are other people that you see and you're like, yeah, but they do it all, or they are like super successful, whatever they're doing, whatever, there must be some people that you have as like maybe like an ideal. Like, you're like, oh no, they're doing fantabulous. Like, what I'm feeling is that they have emotional struggles going on, they're just not showing you, so you're just not seeing it. So it's not like their life is like perfect and like missing flaws, you're just like not seeing it. And they might have very similar struggles to you. So surrender unhealthy relationships. So you are the key. You are the one that's going to put it back in balance. You just have to really choose and decide, no, my like internal state is important. My nurturance is important. You know, connecting to my essence and what's important for me is important. So it's this feeling of like, you have to decide that you are valuable, and you matter, and you know, you deserve to receive. And it is not your responsibility to take care of all these people. It is not your responsibility to provide for them. It is their responsibility to provide for them. So if you're feeling like the feelings of like, how do I put this? Feelings of like, no, I cannot detach from this, I have to caretake, then you probably need to do some cord cutting. Of cutting the cords of, I have to be the provider of these people, I have to be the caretaker of them. Okay? Because that energy, it's not divine truth, and it's dense. And I'm telling you, they can provide for themselves. Like, as soon as you energetically release them from like needing to depend on you, they will not need to depend on you. So I'm not saying that like you need to like physically abandon any of these people, but I'm just saying like energetically, like in the mind, stepping into your own sovereignty and your own inner peace and your own divine truth, and asking yourself what is true about this subject. Okay, here we go. So this is how you will break the pattern. Because, you know, you can listen to someone else and they can tell you what you need to do, and then, you know, that doesn't mean that you're going to do it. But if you ask yourself, what is What is divinely true about this subject? That'll help you break the pattern. What is divinely true about this? What is actually true about this? What is the truth I need to see about this? That will break the pattern. Okay? Oh, and Twinkles. Okay, well, we're going to pick this card because Twinkles did it. Life can be hard and life can be wonderful. Which will you focus on? So, I feel like focusing on what is your truth can guide you through it. Can guide you through this time period right now. Every time something happens that you're upset about or you don't like or you feel burdened, you need to ask yourself, okay, what is actually true? Do I have to do this thing? Do I need to do this thing? Do I even need to feel this way? Do I even need to be in this pattern in general? Because the answer is no, you don't. And constantly tapping into truth will allow you to break the bonds yourself, will allow you to get out of the prison of perception that you are in. It will allow you to get out of this situation where you feel like you can't change it and you can't break the bonds. All right, that is pile number 1. Oh, you know what? I brought in the star card even though we were doing the moon card, but it's okay. I feel like it was the perfect thing. All right, so let's move into the energy of pile number 2, which is the star. All right, so the charms that I got for the star card, I got 2 birds, believe it or not. I got a star, and then I got a fox. So immediately I feel like you're like on a path, and I'm getting that energy from the fox. Like you're kind of like darting this way and that way and like going through these things, and you're like on your path, like you're on the scent, you're on the trail, as a fox would be. So let's ask, what else do you need to know? All right. See, we have the 10 of voices, inspiration, and 6 of inspiration, 4 of materials, and muse of emotions. Okay. So the 10 of voices. You may have felt like you were trapped in the past and like you couldn't move forward. And I love this, there's a star and the 7 of inspirations. In this card though, this person is like pushing the sides of the blackness away, right? And the star is coming through. So your inspiration, following your inspiration, like moves the blackness out of the way. It moves the perception of the difficulty. So I also feel like with the fox, like you're on the scent, is like you're on the scent of your intuition, you're on the trail of your intuition. And the next card is the 6 of inspiration, which also has a star in it. This is crazy the amount of stars we have going on here. And this person is like, it feels like circus energy with the lights and like the backup dancers at the bottom. So I feel like this means a couple of things. You have divine support. You are being helped, you are being guided. I feel like the lights on the card are like, they're showing you the lights of the path you need to take. You know, keep moving forward, even though you can't see it yet, like it's right there. They're helping you, right? You are being guided, you are being seen, you are being led, and they're leading you through your intuition, through those divine insights, through that knowing that you feel in your body when you're doing something. When the inspiration strikes, is like, oh, like go like make this video, or go like make this art piece, or go call this person, or go over here and like do your meditation, or go lounge at the pool, or go like read this book. Those divine insights and inspiration are the nudges from spirit, and those are the little breadcrumbs that like the fox is on the scent of, you know. And these things are going to cause you to fly. Like it's going to allow you to fly and allow you to get out of this feeling of like contraction. So with the 4 of materials is the 4 of pentacles. So these pentacles, these are flowers in this card. So things, it's like what was difficult before is going to start blooming. What was kind of maybe like a little bit hard or a little bit of a contraction can really just like open up and just flourish. And also I'm getting the message like you don't need as much as you think that you need. Like if you think you need a specific amount of money to do this thing, whatever this thing is, you actually don't need it, okay? It's thinking that you need these certain things in order to do what you want to do is actually stopping you from being in the energy of success. Did you hear that? Thinking that you need specific amounts of money, or like even like a specific tool. Like if you feel like you need to buy something to do whatever your endeavor is, and like this is like an expensive thing, and you're like, well, I'm not sure I'm going to afford this, or like I just don't have the extra money for it right now. You know, it's not, they're just saying like it's not true. Like you don't need all these things that you think that you need. I mean this in a gentle way, but it's like a little bit of an excuse, right? Like it's just like you don't need the money that you think that you need, and you don't need these tools that you think that you need. What you need is like consistency. What you need is to just start. This kitty is moss, by the way. What you need is, lost the moss. What you need is, you know, conviction within your own heart. Following your own North Star is what you need. Following your intuition. When your ego says, oh, you don't have the money for that. Oh, you can't do that because you don't have time. Oh, you can't do that because you don't have the tool. Don't listen to it. Just don't listen to it, right? You know, follow the star. Follow that internal knowing. Follow what you are being guided to do. Yeah, man, the biggest block is thinking that you need the money or the tools or the whatever, and that you don't have it, and therefore you can't do it. Such super lie. Absolutely not true. Muse of emotions. So the muse is, I think, was it in Roman times? Greek? I can't remember. But the muse was like a spirit that would come visit you. And the spirit of the muse would visit you. Then divine creativity and inspiration could occur. So the muse comes to visit you all the time, multiple times a day, all day, right? Give you the divine inspiration to do this. Give you the divine inspiration to do that. And you need to follow the muse. And you're feeling it through your emotions. You're knowing what you need to do through your emotions. And I feel like this fox is going to get out of the forest so quick. You are the fox. Surrender negative thinking. Stop thinking you can't do it. Surrender to divine timing. Surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. So what can you do with the energy that you have? So instead of seeing things as like, oh, I can't do it and this is hard, or I'm not supported in this way, you know, the question is, how can you, what's the truth? Like, how can you see how these things can help you? Like, maybe it's actually a blessing that you don't have a lot of time. So maybe you need to do this thing that you're being given to do in, like, I don't know, 30 minutes a day or something, and maybe that actually is the biggest blessing ever, because if you had 4 hours to accomplish it, it would take you 4 hours, but because you only have 30 minutes, it's only going to take you 30 minutes, right? I feel like there's blessings in your limitations that you're not seeing. So I really think about the things that you've been like, oh, that's a limitation. Oh, that means it's hard for me. Oh, that means like it's not going to work. Nope. No. That is like a blessing in disguise. Maybe it's going to help you get organized. Maybe it's going to help you get focused. Maybe it's going to help you like be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to start putting that thing first. I'm going to start putting that thing first. And I'm no longer going to put, you know, my heart's desires on the back burner. I'm going to put them first. I'm going to make my soul alignment forefront of my life instead of making it like this thing that I do at some point, or that I do later, or that I do when I have time. Because I'm really feeling like it's absolutely not true. If you want to do it, it is available for you right now. It's available for you right now. And I kind of want to like feel into like a time frame. Like, when is this available? When is this available? Okay, I just feel very clearly that it's like they're saying when you decide that it is. It's available when you decide that it is. For a certain percentage of you, it can be about a few weeks. What percentage is this? Maybe like 35, 36% of you, it's in 2 weeks. So, but I feel like this is very important. This is 2 weeks without you making excuses, okay? This is not like 2 weeks of you doing what you've been doing, and I mean that in a nice way, I'm not meaning to be rude. This is 2 weeks of you putting your purpose putting what you've been given to do first, right? The divine inspiration has come upon you. You do know what it is. You're getting it all day. You're getting it when you're in your house cooking. You're getting it when you're driving. You're getting it when you're at your job. You're getting it when you're like doing whatever. You know what I mean? Walking the dog. Like you're getting it. You know what it is. You know what it is. And you are getting the divine inspiration of how to do it. But your ego is like, but I got all these problems. And you just gotta be like, ego, get lost. You know what? You can keep your problems. I'm gonna tell you, only this in energy work, your ego's gonna have a bunch of problems. You can keep your problems. But during the energy session, everything my ego thinks literally does not apply. Right? I am a quantum energy healer. When I do an energy session, and this is something that I learned years ago when I learned it in 2008. It was like the teacher, Dr. Richard Bartlett, he was like, your ego is going to have a list of reasons why you can't do it. It's not going to work. That doesn't make sense. And all this other ridiculousness, right? And he was like, listen, totally fine. You keep all your ego bullshit, but it doesn't apply during the energy session. He's like, you can pick it back up when the energy session's over. It's still going to be there and we're just going to ignore it. So we had rules for when we did the energy sessions. We had meta rules, so overarching rules that we decided so that we could actually show up, do the energy session without our ego ruining the whole thing, right? So everything your ego feels literally does not apply. And that was, I think, one of the best things that I learned from that time period when I was doing training, was that I literally just, all disbelief is suspended. Literally do not care and does not apply. Okay? So whatever this thing you're being led to do is, you can just decide all the excuses in your brain that just don't apply for the 30 minutes. Or the hour. I don't know why they keep saying 30 minutes. Whatever this thing is you're being led to do, it's not going to take a crazy long time. I don't know what you're being led to do, but I feel like you could do it in actually 30 minutes, maybe 45. But if you, okay, so this is the guidance. If you let go of your ego's ideas about how you need to do it, it will only take you 30 minutes. So maybe this would be a good reflective journaling exercise to look at what you're being told to do and be like, okay, my issues are that I have to do it this way, or let me use myself as an example, right? I love doing card readings, right? I love to pick a card reading. Sometimes they take too long. They really do. Sometimes I don't have 4 hours to film them, And even though I minimize editing, it still takes a little time. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a general reading like this because this feels better to me, faster, easier, stronger, better. Right? And so I was just like, how could this be easier? So my preconceived notions of I have to do the pick a card readings a certain way, I was like, well, let me just drop that. Let me do what's more fun for me and let me do what I really enjoy. And let me just see how it's easier for me. So I want you to take those questions and just ask yourself, how can this be easier for you? What limitations is your brain coming up with telling you that you can't do this, or that it's going to be hard, or it's going to take a long time, or you need this equipment? You don't need the equipment. You don't need 4 hours. It's your soul gives you really simple tasks, and they're not that hard. It never gives you some huge complex thing. Your ego gives you some huge complex thing. Your soul does not do that. Your soul literally doesn't do that. So if you can write your issues down on this sheet of paper and be like, okay, click, 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 click. These are not true. These are not true, right? I don't need to do it in this certain way. There's just a simpler, easier way for you to do it. And it probably can be as easy as you doing it in 30 minutes. Maybe 40. All infinite timelines are available to you. Ask for the easier thing. I am constantly doing that all the time. I'm like, how could this be easier? How could this be faster? And I'll tell you what, the universe delivers the answers. You just have to listen, which I think is mostly what this card reading is for you, number 2. It's listening is super critical. All right, no one said this whole life thing was a race. It's okay to slow down. A little bit of faith goes a long way. Remember that. Your life is so special. Treat it with loving care. I'm feeling you've been given this divine I don't want to say task, but this like, because it's something like you love to do and it feels enthralling to you. You're like, oh my God, I love this thing. It's so great. And it makes your heart sing and it makes your heart happy. And that's like such a divinely beautiful thing. And they just want you to like acknowledge that and treat it as that. Like treat it as like the sacred special thing. And make time for it in your life. And set your ego aside. And do it the way that you are being guided to do it. And in the way that you're being guided to do it. Because it is simpler than you can imagine. It's like they want you to know it is simpler than you can imagine. And by making it simple, choosing the simpleness, choosing truth, choosing divine inspiration, it will just unfold. Like, it won't take that long. Really, it's not going to take that long. For some of you, it's 2 weeks. For some other of you, it's like 3 months, maybe like 2.5 months. But it's only because you need to get in the habit pattern of following your intuition, because they want to guide you to this step and then guide you to this step and then guide you to this step. And like the way they're going to do that for you is you need to listen to what they're telling you to do. And they're like, hey, do this, do that. And they're like, hey, do this, do that. And it's not like it's this long drawn out task. It's just like through doing the steps, through following your intuition, you will be refined. And when you are refined, then you will be ready for the next step. And that next step will like fully bring in the manifestation of what you want. So, all right, let me see what else I notice. Taking the steps that you are being guided to take is making you stronger in your conviction and adherence to self. And it just feels like this energy of they really want you to be hooked into yourself and your truth and your guidance. That's like critical. And when that happens, untold magic can come through. Because you'll be so anchored in yourself that you'll be able to receive it. This like doubt that you're in right now is not going to serve you at all. Taking the steps of following your divine intuition is increasing your faith, increasing your connection, and allowing you to be completely open to fully divinely receive what you are choosing. Because this path that you're choosing, it looks like it's creating whatever it is you think that you're creating. But really it's about following the guidance within, following the star within. That's what it's actually about. And that's what you need to focus on. Following the star within. Which is why I got the star charm and all these cards with stars. All right, guys, I love this. It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will see you in another video. Bye. All right, guys, the decks used were the Muse Tarot. I also used Messages of Cosmic Oracle cards. These are from Amazon. And then I used The Power of Surrender cards by Judith Orloff. And then the charms I just got on Amazon. It was like a 300-piece charm set. Okay, bye.